After we think through our particular context and kind of what we're bringing into the passage as we open it up, we then want to think about what the text is saying to us today specifically, to me and maybe even me and my community. And so, what is God saying to me and my community through this passage, both in terms of content and theology about who God is and who we are, both fallen and redeemed? Again, we did that for the original audience, and we began to bring that through the grid of the relate section of our study. But now we want to think specifically to what is God saying to us today. And so we think in terms of Luke 7. And I'm going to make this very more personal, and I say this, as if it's God speaking. Jeff, your experience of me isn't like that of the woman. Why is that? Jeff, do you believe that my forgiveness is truly liberating? Jeff, do you believe that you haven't only a, do you believe that you have only a little need for forgiveness? Sorry for the typo, it threw me off. Do you believe that you have only a little need for forgiveness, like Simon the Pharisee? Jeff, would you embrace me as the one who is able and very willing to greatly forgive you? And so those are all very, very tied to the passage, very true to the central ideas of the passage, true to the fallen nature of what's being exposed in the passage, true to the kind of redemption that's being brought out in the passage, and now very specifically applied to me. I think of Genesis 21 then, in that same way, as if God's speaking. Jeff, when times are tight, do you truly believe that I hear and see you? Jeff, do you believe that when it feels like I have barely provided you, that I'm actually helping you to know that what you ultimately need is me? Jeff, unlike Hagar and Israel in the wilderness, I give you living water so that you will never be thirsty again. Come and drink deeply. Again, what these are doing is I'm applying the brokenness of the passage to me personally, allowing it to pierce to the division of soul and spirit in my own heart. I'm also thinking through how the redemption in this story applies to me as well, and ultimately the redemption that is fulfilled ultimately in Christ. And then in Ephesians, Jeff, you regularly feel like you need to prove yourself. Remember, I loved you at your worst. There is nothing to prove. Jeff, I'm inviting you to live like you're seated with me beside the throne of love and grace. And Jeff, I didn't prepare beforehand your sin and rebellion, but I prepared good works for you to walk in. How can you walk in them today? Again, very specific as it relates to my brokenness, as it relates to the redemption, and also as it relates to how those will get lived out, or how what this passage is calling me to live out. So next, what we'll do in our next video is now think through, put all these things together and think through about very specific aims for me and my community.